The blazing sun scorched the vast African savanna. Hot, dry winds carried dust across the plain, making the air suffocating. Amid this wild landscape, a pride of lions moved gracefully, their steps confident and powerful. Yet, within this majestic scene, one fragile figure pierced the viewer's heart. It was Kibo, a young lion cub only a few months old, whose once bright eyes were now clouded with pain. Kibo's left leg was swollen grotesquely. The skin had cracked open, raw and red, with yellow pus oozing out, body trembling, legs buckling beneath him. While the other cubs in the pride leapt and played joyfully under the sun, Kibo could only drag himself forward, step by agonizing step, before collapsing onto the burning earth. His breath came in sharp gasps, eyes wide, flickering with panic and despair. He tried to roar a weak, broken sound as if begging for help, but his cries dissolved into the vast emptiness. No lion turned back. In the wild, the weak are abandoned. Such is the brutal law of survival. Blood and pus from the wound began to attract swarms of flies, buzzing and crawling across Kibo's leg. He weakly swiped at them, but his strength was gone. Sunlight fell across his golden fur, which should have shimmered with health, but now looked dull, sticky with sweat and dust. The scene cut like a knife into the viewer's heart, a small, fragile life cornered by death. On the endless savanna, where only the strong endure, Kibo stood face to face with a death sentence. On the savanna, an injured animal means a death sentence. The narrator's voice closed the first act, leaving the audience heavy with sorrow and dread for Kibo's fragile fate. Night fell over the savanna. The sky glittered with stars, but the land was cloaked in a chilling darkness. The lion pride faded into the distance, leaving behind an empty void. In that emptiness lay Kibo, collapsed on the cracked ground. His breathing was heavy, every heartbeat draining away the little life he had left. Kibo struggled to rise. He leaned on his 3 healthy legs, dragging himself forward, leaving streaks of blood across the grass. Each attempt to lift his left leg brought searing pain, sending him crashing down again. His feeble cries broke the silence, unanswered in the vast night. Far away, glowing red eyes appeared. Hyenas had caught the scent of blood. Their eerie laughter echoed across the darkness, a chilling signal of the hunt. Above, vultures circled, waiting for death to claim its prize. In the wild, weakness is an invitation to predators. Just as all seemed lost, beams of flashlight pierced the night. A group of wildlife rangers appeared on patrol. Their footsteps and radios shattered the deadly silence. As they drew closer, the foul stench from Kibo's wound hit them hard, forcing grimaces on their faces. One ranger knelt, shining his light. What he saw made him freeze. Kibo's leg was grotesquely swollen, double its normal size, yellow pus dripping down his matted fur. The cub's eyes were dull, glazed with exhaustion, as if waiting for death's release. The rangers exchanged troubled looks, torn by a fierce inner conflict. Nature's law demanded that the weak be left behind. That was how ecosystems stayed balanced. Yet before them was not a law, but a pleading life. Leaving him meant condemning him to a slow, painful death. Saving him meant breaking the circle of survival. After a heavy silence, the team leader spoke firmly. "We must save him." At once, they prepared their tools. A dart of anesthesia slid into Kibo's skin, easing him into slumber. Carefully, they placed him on a canvas sheet and began their work under dim light. A sharp incision released thick pus, spilling out with a sickening odor. But with each drop drained, hope returned. They rinsed the wound with saline, gently cleaning every infected pocket, then bandaged it with care. An IV of antibiotics flowed into his veins, followed by fluids that brought strength back to his frail body. As they worked, one ranger whispered, "Perhaps we shouldn't interfere with nature's law." His comrade replied, "But if we walk away today, these eyes will close forever." Saving him doesn't just save a cub, it preserves hope for the species. When the treatment was done, the leader carefully lifted Kibo into his arms. The flashlight illuminated flickered with a faint light. It wasn't just the beam's reflection, it was the spark of hope, the belief that life had given him another chance. That moment became the heart of Act 2, a clash between the savage law of survival and the compassion of humankind. And in that instant, humanity chose life. In the days following his treatment, the rescue station echoed with new life. In a small wooden enclosure, Kibo, once a cub on death's edge, slowly regained his strength. At first, he could only lie still, eyes half closed, his thin frame trembling each time pain shot through his leg. But day by day, under the rangers' and veterinarians' care, his body began to change. The wound was cleaned daily, antibiotics seeped in, the swelling eased, and new skin began to form. His once grotesquely swollen leg now looked healthier, no longer burning red with infection. One morning, as golden dawn spread across the savanna, Kibo tried to rise. He trembled, his steps clumsy, but he managed to balance. The rangers outside his pen held their breath. When Kibo took 1, 2 more steps without falling, joy erupted. It was more than just a cub's progress. It was proof of life's resilience. As days passed, Kibo grew stronger. He stretched, let out soft growls, and practiced running small circles. Though his leg wasn't fully healed, his will to survive drove him forward. The despair once clouding his eyes was replaced by the proud spirit of a lion. Finally, the great day arrived. One windy afternoon, beneath a sky painted gold by sunset, the rangers gathered at the gate. They knew it was time to return Kibo to the wild. The leader approached the latch, his face hesitant yet resolute. With a steady hand, he pushed the gate open. Kibo stood still for a moment, ears pricked, eyes scanning the freedom beyond. Sunlight poured over his renewed golden coat, making him shine like a symbol of life itself. Then, with sudden energy, he dashed forward, bounding across the grass. After several strides, Kibo stopped. He turned his head back, his gaze locking onto the humans who had saved him. In those eyes was no longer despair, but a deep, silent gratitude and unspoken acknowledgement that they had given him a second chance. That moment marked the emotional peak of the story. In the harsh wild, where life and death are separated by a breath, human compassion had created a miracle. In the wild, life is rarely given a second chance. But sometimes, human kindness is what creates a miracle. The narrator's voice lingered in the audience's hearts. Kibo's story was more than a cub's survival. It was a reminder to humanity. A small act of mercy today could protect the future of lions, the proud symbols of Africa's wilderness. In the final frame, Kibo disappeared into the tall grass, merging with the vast savanna. Only the memory of his grateful eyes remained, etched into the hearts of those who witnessed, whispering a timeless truth. Sometimes, a single act of kindness can change an entire life.